Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel channel for foodies. I'm Brent Peterson. You can hear the soccer supporters behind me singing the song for the local team. I also saw the mascot here. So we are in Viana do Castelo in northern Portugal. And this city's known for a few things. It's known for its magnificent church on the hill. It's known for some unique and characteristic pastries. And it's known for a special kind of jewelry. And we're going to check out all of those things throughout a couple of videos here in Viana do Castelo. But one thing I wanted to check out immediately is what's called the Valentine's Scarves. And this is known for this particular area. These scarves were originally popular in the 19th century. So like 150 years ago, young women of marrying status would embroider these scarves with basically love letters to their potential boyfriends slash husbands. And they would, put these embroideries on the scarf and give it to the man of their affection. And if he returned her affection, he would take the scarf and he would tie it around his neck. This isn't big enough, but it would tie it around his neck to show that he returned her affection. If not, he'd give her the scarf back and, everyone would be brokenhearted. So that was how it worked. But what's interesting about that is that these scarves have become sort of cultural artifacts. And the thing is, 150 years ago, 200 years ago, most of the people in Portugal were illiterate. So these scarves would have grammatical errors in them. And as they were reproduced over time, they kept those grammatical errors in the scarves. So you go into a museum and you see these scarves, you'll see those grammatical errors. You go into a shop, and there's tons of shops around here that sell these kinds of scarves reproduced. They will still have those same grammatical errors. So what did I get? Well, I spent a whopping €5 on this little bag. I didn't need a scarf, but I did need a bag. So I got that, and it has the little sayings printed on it. And I haven't bothered to translate these yet, but I'm sure that they are authentic to the time with the grammatical errors in them. So it's a fascinating little cultural artifact, and I really enjoy it. And, if you want, you can go into these stores and buy actual hand embroidered scarves. And some of them are expensive, can run €150. You can get them as cheap as like €20 for little tiny ones. But, for €5, I got this sack and I can use it at the grocery store or whatever. Take my dirty laundry home from Viana do Castelo when our trip is done, and it's a nice little memory for our time up here. We're at Viana do Foz, which translates to the mouth of Viana, and that's because we're right on the river here, and it leads right out to the ocean. So I guess that's why when they say mouth, that must be what they mean. I wish I could show you the view here, but it's night, so you can't see it. But I'll get some video of this tomorrow when we come back. You're right along the waterfront here. It's stunning how beautiful it is. So that's a great spot. Let me tell you what we got here. We ordered a couple of small things off of the menu, and look at all the stuff that came. We wanted to get some healthy food because, we've been traveling and, haven't been eating all the best stuff that we could. So wanted to get a lot of veggies and stuff. So I just ordered some sauteed vegetables, carrots, and broccoli. Those carrots are good. Thank you, chef, for not being afraid to use salt. Really good. I ordered a side of olives. And look, They give you a toothpick, like in a civilized country. Yeah, those olives are a little soft. I like my olives to have a little more bite to them. They're tasty, and what I like about them is there's a lot of garlic. Fresh chopped garlic in there. So, I'm sure I'm going to be eating those. And then I ordered this salad. And this is cool because, so I asked the waiter for some oil and vinegar because I tasted it and I was like, there's no dressing on this. And he's like, no, it's in here. So here's what they give you. This little packet of olive oil, like a little ketchup packet. And then a little packet of vinegar. Just put a little bit of vinegar on there. Okay, we'll give this a try. Now, this salad's kind of unusual. I mean, look, I got tomato, I got onion, I got lettuce, I got cucumber. Nothing unusual about that, right? But also on that salad, peaches, pineapple. Really, not what I would normally think of, but I kind of like it. I kind of like that sweet and vegetable going together. It's also got some egg and some mozzarella in here, so you know, lots of greens, lots of healthy stuff, and it's tasty. It's fresh. So credit to these guys for that. I also got struggling to get this tomato on my fork, but I won't give up. The other thing I like about this place, they have several half bottles on their wine list. It's just me and Karen here tonight, so getting a full bottle would just be too much wine. So what I got was Miralhash de Mancao, and that translates to the Wall of Mancao. Mancao it's a city that's about an hour from here. Must be where they make this wine. What kind of wine? Vinho Verde. We're in Milhau, so this region is known for Vinho Verde. Now, when you hear Vinho Verde, you might think, oh, green wine, and that's what it translates to. But Vinho Verde actually means young wine. It doesn't mean the grapes are green. It means the wine is young, green. And that's how they like their wine here. That's how they like their white wine. And this is a nice example because typically Vinho Verde has a little bit of effervescence to it. This has a little bit of effervescence to it. Not as much as some other Vinho Verdes I've had. Apricot, maybe some pear, maybe some green apple. It's nice. I like it. It's really refreshing. Vinho Verde is really great in the summer. It's not summer right now, but this is the region that we're in, so we have to get Vinho Verde. And I think it's a great match to go with my salad as well. I'm definitely eating all those carrots too. Really good. I like this place. Maybe we'll come back during the day and just get a glass of wine or something. But yeah, this is good. And for the location, very, very reasonably priced. I think we're going to get out of here between the two of us for less than 35 euro. So really very, very well priced and good quality fresh food. I like it. This is Indian Punjabi restaurant, and I know in one of my earlier videos about life in Portugal, pros and cons, I complained about the diversity of the cuisine, especially in smaller towns. But one of the things that you can rely on pretty regularly is that in most cities of any size, and Viana do Castelo is not a big city by any means, only 35,000 live here, you can find an Indian restaurant, and usually of very good quality. Maybe you're curious, why are there so many Indian restaurants? Why are there so many Indian people in Portugal? Well, India, before it was a British colony, it was a Portuguese colony, at least Gao was. And the Portuguese were responsible for bringing hot peppers to the cuisine of India. So without the Portuguese, there wouldn't be hot peppers in Indian cuisine. And Indian cuisine is certainly much richer because of those hot peppers. So you've got the Portuguese to thank for that. We started with some vegetable pankora, which is deep fried veggie batter, which is deep fried vegetables in a chickpea flour. So that's what this is. You can see inside, they're kind of minced up in there. And we got 3 different sauces. So we'll go from the mildest to the hottest. And we'll start with the mango sauce. That is so good. These pankora right out of the fryer. So nice and crispy, delicious. Yogurt sauce, maybe some basil in here, parsley, I don't know. Wow. That is tremendous. Okay. And now the last one. This is with hot peppers. This is with the piri piri peppers. Thank you, Portugal, for bringing these to India. If you've been to Portugal or you've been to a Portuguese restaurant, you've probably heard of piri piri chicken. It's a famous dish, one of the few spicy dishes in Portuguese cuisine. But they made a piri piri sauce for this. Okay. Yes. That is really hot. I'm gonna get a little dab of yogurt here to put up the flame. But that's really good. So that's how we're starting off. Great, great start to this meal. We'll see what happens when the rest of our dishes come out. All right, the main dishes have arrived. Let me tell you what I got. First, we'll start with the rice. I got egg rice. Karen got rice with nuts and saffron, and the aroma is incredible. For my main dish, I got something called Bombay aloo, which is potatoes and vegetables in this amazing sauce. Just looks incredible, tomato base. And then Karen got chana masala, chickpeas and veggies. I can't tell you how incredible this smells right now. I mean, really amazing. So, Bombay aloo first. You can see the steam coming off. It's so hot. Don't you just love these serving vessels that they come in? So you got this little copper tin thing on the top, but on the bottom, this little terracotta pot. Really nice. Okay, Bombay aloo. Really tomatoey. Tomatoes and potatoes. What could be better? And now chana masala. Wow. So much more earthy You can tell they really spent some time building up the spices in this one in the pan. Really terrific. I like both of them. But I do want to just have a bite of Karen's rice by itself so I can test this out, because it was just so aromatic when it arrived at the table. I think there might be fennel seeds in there as well. In addition, I think there's almonds, some other spices, the saffron I mentioned. Wow, really, really good. I'm telling you, man, when you come to Portugal, don't be afraid to go to an Indian restaurant. There's tons of great Indian restaurants, especially in Lisbon, but all over the place. Who would have expected coming to Viana do Castelo and getting terrific Indian food in this little tiny city in the north of Portugal? Yum. This is the costume museum of the Lima River Valley in Viana do Castelo. You know, I'm not a fashionista, obviously, but this place is absolutely fascinating. Traces the history of the traditional costumes of this region from about the mid-19th century to the mid-20th century. These costumes were worn for special occasions, for weddings. It's interesting, the wedding garb is all black, not white, like we traditionally have. For Sunday services, for festivals, and then you've got a bunch for working occasions. Like behind me, these are the specific costumes that the women wore at the market to sell their products, whether it was fabric or bread or whatever they happened to be selling at the market. So there were costumes for all these different occasions. And each house, this was a rural area, it still is a rural area. I mean, Viana do Castelo is a small city, but surrounding is rural villages, and mostly engaged in fishing and agriculture. The women each had a loom in their house, and the men would grow and gather flax and wool, shear sheep, keep sheep, wool, and the women would make their own cloth from scratch. They have a whole floor dedicated to the process of gathering, preparing, making thread, and then the loom that puts these together. But the most fascinating thing in this museum is the intricate celebratory costumes and how they are different from village to village. The different colors may represent a village, the different headscarves may represent a village, and you can also tell when they were made based on the different decorations. Some of them are decorated around the hemline, skirts are longer or shorter, different colors, different kinds of embroidery. The embroidery is amazing in its beautiful colors and intricacy. Like I said, not a fashionista. Love this museum. It's inexpensive to get into. You can buy a combo ticket. We went to the Museum of Decorative Arts yesterday, and we got in there and here, and I think the total cost was like €2 and change for both museums together. So it's pretty good. And the Decorative Arts Museum, it's worth a visit to. You can probably do it in an hour or so, because it has some amazing azulejo tiles. Those are the famous black and white tiles, or blue and white tiles. And they have some murals in there of tiles that are pretty extraordinary. Viana do Castelo is unique in that you don't see a lot of tile work. There was one street that we walked down that had some pretty cool tile facades, not murals, just geometric patterns. But for the most part, you don't see the intricate tiles and murals like you do in the churches of, say, Porto or Braga or other places, other cities here in the north. These churches are more dedicated to things like fancy altarpieces and gilding and wooden carving and stuff like that. So you don't necessarily go into churches and see the azulejo. So that's why that museum is good to go to. And it's fascinating in that museum because a lot of murals you'll see are dedicated to religious motifs. These are dedicated to the royalty of Portugal and their lives, which is kind of interesting to see depictions of that. So both museums worth your time when you come to Viana do Castelo. In the basement, they have a room dedicated to the gold jewelry. Now, this was a big part of the costumes of the women a little bit later, and it was used to show off the wealth and the prosperity of the family. And it's come to have this specific design that kind of looks like a heart. And everywhere you go in the city, there is this heart, whether it's related to jewelry or not. It just has become a symbol of the city. But I've never seen a city of this size with so many gold jewelry shops. They are everywhere, and some of them make their own designs. In fact, a lot of the gold jewelry on display here is from one specific jeweler here in Viana do Castelo. And so this gold jewelry is just magnificent in its ostentatiousness and its design. And apparently, once a year they have a festival in the city where the women wear these costumes and they're all decked out with that jewelry. So that might be a reason to come back here to the city. This is Concha, a bar right on one of the main drags here in town. And you know, when I get ready to go on a trip, I'm one of those people that does tons of planning. I put together a Google map, drop pins in all the places that I want to go, write them all down, write down their hours of operation, what's interesting about each place that I want to go to, and then I start thinking, how can I group these together geographically to make it all easy to get to? That said, I always like to leave time in to do lots of very spontaneous things. And this place is right by our little boutique hotel where we're staying. And we walked by this the first night and said, we gotta go here. So it's getting near the end of our trip, and we came in finally to get a glass of wine. This is a completely characteristic local bar, and I just love the atmosphere in here. They pour you a glass of wine, I mean, right to the tippity top. And the folks here are just really friendly, and it's just the perfect place to come and have a drink. So Karen and I made sure to make this a part of our trip to Viana do Castelo. A little red wine, a little house wine, and it's fine, perfectly drinkable. You know, you're not coming here to get your Chateauneuf de Pop, coming here to get inexpensive Portuguese wine. Karen wanted a white, so that's fine too. So, loved this stop. This was a great choice. So glad we made time for it. This is Casa de Pasto Maria de Pere. It's a very traditional Portuguese restaurant here in Viana do Castelo. And we got caught up in the rain, as you can tell from my hair. But hey, that's the risk that you take when you come during the fall, the winter here in northern Portugal. It rains a lot, and it has rained a lot while we were up here. But this is a super cool place right in the middle of the historic district of the city. And let me tell you what I got. Oh, first of all, we started off with some olives, and you can tell I've already done our job and really eaten a lot of these, so it must be good, right? They are. So meaty and chewy, garlic, Salt from the brine. Best olives I've had in Viana do Castelo so far. So we wanted to eat, have a really healthy lunch here. So what did we get? Well, they called this sauteed veggies, but it's really just like broccoli rabe, like a green. Sauteed in olive oil with some salt, some garlic, and I think they finished it off with some lemon juice. It's got a little citrus. And I put it on a bed of rice, so I think that's a winning combination. We got some Vinho Verde, because we're in the Minho region of Portugal, and you can see just got a little half bottle because it's lunch. We're not going to drink a whole bottle of wine. And then to go with it, we got a mixed salad, and mixed salad, lettuce of course, sliced cucumber, tomato, little shreds of carrot, and shreds of red cabbage. Look how colorful this is with all this stuff together. Really looks beautiful. Dressed in a little vinaigrette. This is terrific. Wow. Healthy lunch, but delicious in this place. And they're busy for lunch here. A lot of people walking in, even though it's a rainy afternoon here in Viana do Castelo. And I love the ambiance in here. This is just a gorgeous place. Perfect place to come for lunch. So glad we decided to do it. So, that's going to do it for our little food crawl here in Viana do Castelo. I really liked it here. Lots of traditional places, and the quality of the food has been outstanding. Hasn't been expensive either, and you know, we're in Portugal, so you have wine for every meal. If you like this kind of stuff and you want to support the channel, you can toss a few bucks my way at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink. Check out the podcast as well. Destination Eat Drink is on all the podcast platforms. Closing in on 300 episodes of that show. And there's also destinationeatdrink.com. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for being here. See you down the road.
Vamos lá,